Hello, everyone. Today we're having a chat about the glorious art of professional wrestling. But before we do, I have a quick announcement to make. My latest horror novel, Miles and Mary Ashbury, is out now. It's a very grim horror novel about a twisted marriage. So there will be a link in the description if you want to go check that out. All right, so joining me today to have a chat about the glorious art of professional wrestling is wrestling referee Niall Fox. How are you, Niall?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm excellent. The weather's all nice here,
Mm.
and it's been good. Yeah, I've been enjoying the week. So you are a referee for Over the Top Wrestling.
Yes, I am. I'm
So
the only referee for Over the Top Wrestling.
you're the one and only. Is that true? That's interesting.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
What?
We have had people like fly over like from other countries to uh ref on shows,
Yeah.
but it's just me.
Right. So it's kind of like a small team of people, is it?
Yeah. Well, like small team is like Over the Top Wrestling is the biggest promotion for wrestling in Ireland. Uh,
Fantastic.
Like you are paying for quality matches as well as high end production that isn't really seen on from many promotions here in Ireland. So,
That's fantastic. So how many shows a year would you do?
ooh, um, so it varies. Like years ago would have been maybe once a month, but
Yeah.
now in the last few years that's been up considerably. Like so, instead of just doing one a month for say over the top wrestling, it would be now maybe one a month, but then every 2 or 3 months we'll do a string of like 3 or 4 smaller shows in between.
Yeah.
So as opposed to our main continuity kind of shows.
Yeah. How long would a
So
show typically be?
uh we try to aim for around 2.5 hours, uh, or three, depending on the show.
Yeah. So how do you get into something like being a referee? How do you fall into that?
It was out of necessity. Um,
Right.
not from my end.
You're like, I just need something. Give me anything.
Like so when I started as a wrestler. I was trained to be a wrestler,
Brilliant. What
and
was your in ring name?
I had different names throughout the years. So,
Do you want to throw any of them out,
uh,
or are you trying to bury them?
uh, my first ever wrestling name was Mickey Magpie.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Listen, you didn't need to say it. I
Oh
didn't make.
yeah, no. Oh no, no, no! Like
Ah, that's cool.
if I give people a chuckle, that's great, because that name didn't even last that long. It
Yeah.
lasted for about a month. Then it became Malachi Magpie,
All right.
and then Malachi Magpie,
Right.
and
Why magpie? Where did that come from?
uh, the day of my first ever match, I had walked up to the promoter, and I'd asked like, which is to me in my head, it was a logical question. It was just Uh, am I using my name or
Yeah.
do am I changing my name? What's going on?
He's like, dude, what do you feel about magpies?
He literally looked me up and down. He did actually look me up and down, and then because I was wearing black my black training pants, my a black T-shirt with the promotion logo on it, and I
Yeah.
had really long blonde hair at the time as well.
Yeah.
But but it just all black and then random white kick pads that I had, and he just said Magpie, Mickey Magpie. I laughed in his face.
Yeah.
I
But
thought he was joking, like,
and
but
did you have a say in that? Were you
no.
told you're just gonna have to roll with this?
Yep, pretty much,
Jesus.
pretty much, like,
How
but
long? How long were you an in-ring performer for?
uh, I've never really stopped, to be honest. Like, it's
Okay, so you still wrestle every now and then?
I I'd like to do it a lot more,
Yeah.
but as I went along, so I had the first few matches with where I wrestled, but then eventually I got slapped with another gimmick, uh, or another character, so to speak,
Yeah.
and this was under a mask. So
Right.
when I started working with the mask, it basically allowed a promoter to have me do what's referred to as double duty.
Oh, I see. Right, right. So you could be referee and then this masked wrestler.
Yes, pretty
Yeah, yeah,
much.
yeah.
So, and that's actually how it started.
Yeah.
And wrestled for a couple of years, but I was still doing this as well, which is a great learning experience in itself
Yeah.
because it helps you immensely become more comfortable in the ring and
Right.
also to learn how to engage a crowd without being the main focus.
Yes. Eases you
And
into it somewhat.
yeah, like, and it s- eventually got to, I got involved with a promotion that sadly is no longer around, but basically they would all throughout the year would travel around the country, the entire country,
Yeah.
different towns, different cities, all throughout the year, every week. And sometimes you'd be doing multiple shows a week, which was unheard of back then because
Yeah.
shows were normally either once a month or once every 2 months
Yeah.
because there wasn't really that much wrestling going on.
Right.
But this promotion, in particular, like every weekend, every week, different town, different city, doing shows, and I got to work with some of the best in the country, and I gained. I did that for 3 years solid, where I was just traveling around the country, learning what worked, what didn't work, getting better. My wrestling bookings got less and less, and my ref bookings got more and more.
Right.
So, so like, it was never really like a clear cut like stop. It
Yeah.
was more just like a transition. I became more valuable as a referee,
Yeah.
and which I didn't mind because I always looked at it as being a I get to be involved in the show, but B it's again I have the best seat in the house. Like I still get
Yeah.
to be involved. Like and plus I guess so much more longevity as a referee.
Yes.
So uh,
Less bumps and such.
yeah, pretty much. And now, don't get me wrong, I still take the odd bump here and there, but at least now when I do it, it's and because a lot of people didn't know that I wrestled, so I would literally throw myself into a bump and I'd look like a die because, but in if you look at the psychology side of wrestling, which believe me took years to learn,
Yeah.
but again, when you learn it, it becomes so much easier to uh, not only to be a performer, but to also make things make sense.
Yes.
And especially for someone who's uh, not a studious kind of person, like physically, I can do the moves,
Yeah.
but mentally, it took so long to grasp the idea of it.
Yeah.
But for the psychology though, like of a referee, the referee is the proxy. Yes, he's the authority, but he's the proxy for the fan
Yes.
in the sense that he he's in no way, shape, or form should he look like a wrestler. In no way, shape, or form should he be falling like a wrestler. And
Yes.
like, yes, he has to be a bit of an idiot at times as well.
So you have to like you have to really take a bump like you don't know what you're doing.
Yep,
That must add another layer of difficulty to kind of sell that.
it does. Like I enjoy doing it. I'm happy to do whatever's needed for the sake of a show. Um, I think that it's the way I look at it is that a good ref can help a bad match become a good match,
Right.
and a bad referee can make a great match into a terrible match.
Gotcha. So on that, what role exactly does a referee have within the wrestling match? Like what is their role exactly?
So my role is to help the performers put on the best match that they can Um, I am there to communicate either information from them or information from promoter or backstage hands in regards to either timing or uh, a new spot that has to be done, or a bit more information from the back has come in. So
Yeah.
they may need to be cued in on something that is impromptu.
Yes.
Um, but I'm also there to keep them safe as well.
Yeah.
So I am there to check on them, make sure they're okay. If something does go bad, which has happened a couple of times, I have to be able to be calm, cool, and collected, assess the situation, and make a call right there and then.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes you have to save them from themselves.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know that from working with competitors in martial arts where
Mm,
they're really badly hurt, but they will not back out. So you have to make them back out and say, no, this
yeah,
is now too dangerous. You're too
and
badly hurt.
it's very different for the likes of wrestling, because a lot of people would say, "Oh yeah, it's fake and it's not real." It is real.
Yeah.
the The story and the outcome are predetermined. It's but everything physically that you see in the ring is real. You can't fake gravity, and you also you have to be able to do these moves safely.
Yeah.
Because bear in mind, there are some people that do this on a very, very regular basis, where they're probably wrestling multiple times a week, if not every day.
Yeah.
So they need to be able to do these moves as safely as possible.
Yeah.
Yes, does it hurt? Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But again, you train in order to be able to do these moves in a what looks to be a, a very hurtful way, but is actually in safe areas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I always thought it was silly calling it fake. Like, why not? Oh, they're good performers, or
mm,
it was always a bit strange to me, like, because they're performing a lot of these complex movements and sequences in front of a live audience. Like, you have to
mhm.
respect that. Like, that's incredible what some of them pull off.
And not only that, like you will get some performers that will plan out every aspect of what they do outside there. And to a degree, some of them can do it fantastically. Then there's others that just they can't, and it sometimes it can work, sometimes it can't. But I fall in, using my own experience, I fall into the category of I prefer only knowing the key essential bits for a match. That way, it leaves more room for me to engage a crowd
Yeah.
and to actually be present in the moment, but entertain,
So
because it is a show.
you don't like to over rehearse, basically.
No, I
Yeah.
don't like it. I find that like if you over rehearse, you overcomplicate it, and you forget. And when you forget, you become a deer in the headlights. Not
Yeah.
only that, when you plan out too much, you become very stiff,
Yeah.
and because you're more focused on what's next as
Yeah.
opposed to, oh, actually flowing with the moment, and like, okay, they seem to like that, but you've already moved on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's I find the exact same thing with writing. That when I'm planning a story, I find that if I do it too meticulously, like every little
mhm,
detail, and plan it like my outline is ridiculously complicated, it, like you say, it can feel very stiff. And I like to plan just enough and then leave myself room to maneuver, as you say, like be present in the moment, not just worry about the next thing you have to get to.
exactly.
And like wrestling at the end of the day is another form of storytelling.
Absolutely. Like you are not only uh physically like performing and enacting, like you're acting and reacting, and you are trying to convey either emotion or despair or something. You're trying to elicit an emotional response in the fan, in the crowd. We are we are the unfortunate thing is that we are the unwanted middle child of a we're too sport to be theater,
Yeah.
and we're too theater to be sport, which
Yes.
therefore puts us in a weird middle ground and purgatory where
Yeah.
no government will back wrestling as
Right.
a viable like source to fund and help and invest back into a community. So
Yeah.
wrestling tends to survive almost hand to mouth, where shows are put on to build up money so we can put on another show or fund a school. So,
Yeah.
and that cycle repeats over and over again, which therefore makes it very hard to do this as a full time gig.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that you can say, what's your profession? I'm a pro wrestler or I'm a pro wrestling referee.
Yeah.
Can't do that here. It's unfortunate because the money isn't there.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think WWE coming to Netflix is going to help change perspectives?
Coming to so WWE going to Netflix makes it so much more accessible.
Yeah. Yeah. So
As
actually, just
opposed,
on that,
mm,
I used to love wrestling when I was younger, but I hadn't watched it in a long, long, long time. And then when it came to Netflix, I thought, do you know what? It's so easy to access now. I'm going to check it out, try and follow
mm,
it for a bit, see if I can get back into it. So I've been trying to follow it as much as possible since it came on, and there's a lot to enjoy so far. So I'm kind of seeing if it ropes me back in. So hopefully it'll do the same for a lot of people, where it just gets more eyes on it.
that's it. Like it's easily more accessible as opposed to being locked away on its own like streaming service.
Yeah,
While for the hardcore fan base, yes, that was a good thing because you had so much content that you could choose from
yeah,
throughout history. But by being on Netflix, it is now legitimately like a world reaching like product. You
yeah,
can now say that this is in like every country around the world
yeah,
because every country has Netflix. So whether
yeah,
people watch it or not, but you can legitimately make that claim
yeah,
that we are now in every home that has Netflix.
yeah,
And it's like it gives you an influx of brand new fans who are just finding wrestling for the first time, but you also get existing fans who find may have lapsed in watching it
yeah,
on a regular basis. Now they're like, oh yeah, I have Netflix. I can catch up on the weekend, or I can catch up like during the day, like while I'm on break.
yeah, yeah,
It's and I think it's a good thing. I do think that it's a good thing. It makes it more accessible. It gives people more of an interest in what's going on, the current product, and it allows immense crossover in terms of how Netflix market other projects that are on Netflix, the platform of Netflix.
yeah,
I mean, you have a live weekly show that you can now insert and filter in small little plugs or guest appearances for other either movies or TV shows that will be coming to your platform,
yeah,
which is free advertisement essentially, like without having to do too much.
yeah,
But but that crossover works the other way as well. It means that you have more people realizing that these wrestlers are actually fantastic performers that could make the jump over into TV or a movie,
yeah,
and it wouldn't really be out of place.
yeah.
So
That's it. And their faces become more and more familiar to people.
yes.
So in terms of, so we got Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Mm.
In your opinion, are they all worth watching? And do you have a particular favorite? Is there one that kind of you're enjoying a little bit more than the others?
I I used to absolutely love NXT
Yeah,
a few years ago just because the talent pool that they had there was just it piqued my interest because being working for an independent promotion, I've also worked with a lot of independent wrestlers, and it was nice to see them make the jump to WWE. And whereas now a lot of them have either moved on to different companies or have moved up to the main roster.
yeah,
So now in NXT, it's more of their feeder system to
yeah,
get people ready for the main. main roster,
Yeah.
which is Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing at all. That's a good thing that is, frankly, is like immensely important for the future of wrestling.
So you think it's a good system?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it means that if someone is, say, uh, for example, if WWE are scouting someone that's on the independent scene, it means that they could hire them, put them on NXT for a few months, get them trained up on how WWE TV actually works,
Yeah.
and then call them up to the main roster.
Yeah.
Like it's a handy little safety net for WWE
Yeah.
that they don't have to just, oh, you're going straight to the main roster,
Yeah.
like just because there's no other option.
Yeah.
Whereas now,
Has there ever been someone who got sent up to the main roster, it didn't quite work out, and sent back to NXT for a bit more development?
yes,
Does that happen often?
not too often, but there has been a couple of cases where someone would get either sent back down just to reinvent themselves, or it would be someone asking, can they go back to it?
Right.
I probably because they preferred how it was run, that particular show or whoever was in charge.
Right.
Sometimes it is like the management or whoever's in charge you may not agree with, but it
Yeah.
at the end of the day they pay the bills. Like
Exactly.
so that's it's one of the aspects that a lot of people tend to forget. It's like wrestling is a business.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Like it's
It's all about who draws money.
it can be, yes, and it's and yes, to a degree, it's absolutely like main focus. But for wrestling, I always believe that it's a variety show. It's
Yeah.
meant to tick the boxes in order to appeal to a wider audience every week. You
Yeah.
will have your main cast of characters that will always appear on the show in some capacity, but for the lower parts of the card, they can be inserted and slotted out where they need it to be.
Yeah.
You have to understand that, all right, tonight is not my night. I am in this support role for now.
Yeah.
I will have my time if I do a good job.
Yeah. So wrestling has a lot of terms that, people listening to this might not understand. So
Mhm.
could you explain what is a heel and what is a baby face?
A heel is to describe bad guy,
Yeah.
and uh, a baby face is your plain good old boy, like white meat baby face, which is the good guy.
Yeah.
Like
So was your magpie character a heel or a baby face?
baby face.
Yeah, all right.
Like playing white meat baby face, like brand new out of school. Like
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
Have you ever played a heel?
I have. I have.
I would imagine, in my mind, playing a heel is maybe a bit more fun.
It can be.
Just being a complete
Uh
asshole.
so like I I've been what's called the perennial baby face,
Yeah.
where like for the majority of my career I've been a baby face. But in the very first time I got to be a heel, I wasn't ready.
Right.
I absolutely wasn't ready. I wasn't comfortable to be able to do that. Whereas like a couple of years later when I got to do it again, I was absolutely ready.
Yeah. So what was the
I was
challenge in being a good heel? What was it you were trying to kind of overcome?
it's your own confidence.
Yeah.
You have to be first of all, you have to be very comfortable in your own skills in the ring. You either have to have a character to hook people in, or you have to have a personality that kind of catches people
Yeah.
in a way that either will irritate them or um, like you can be like super talented and be like a great wrestler, but your behavior will turn you as a bad guy because people are like, oh, I don't like how he does that. It's like, all right, let me give you a reason to boo. I'm gonna kick your baby face right in the face, like while he's on the ground. Like
Yeah.
whereas a baby face would let them get up off the ground and do things honorably.
Play
And
by the rules.
yes,
Yeah. Whereas
being a
a
heel,
heel will
you can
kick you
color
right in.
outside the lines.
Yeah, a heel will kick you right in the junk. No conscience.
Yeah, pretty much. But it, it it's simple little things that will make a difference. Like small details will turn, for example, a simple exchange into either being, okay, I like this from both of them,
Yeah,
to, oh, what's he doing?
yeah,
Like, oh no, I don't like this.
yeah.
Like,
So,
I don't.
what is selling? What is the art of selling? And do you have someone in mind who you think is maybe one of the better sellers who's currently active? Like who's really good at selling a move?
So for selling is um the reaction to something that has happened.
Yeah,
So either to be hit with a punch, how would you react to that? How would you fall? How would you crumble? How would you shout or scream based on what is happening?
yeah,
Or in terms of a instead of wrestling, uh, you are the big bad heel, and the the baby face that you've beat down for 2 or 3 weeks has now his music has just hit and he's running toward you. How do you react to that shock of him coming out after you?
right.
To like, it's also selling is also the art of eliciting a response by now sometimes by like essentially lying. Um, we are we are great. It sounds awful when I say it, like when I actually break it down. It's the art of lying,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but doing it so convincingly that if we can get people convinced that right, that one hurt, that one
yeah.
definitely hurt them. We've done our job.
When you see
It,
someone who's really good at selling, it
mm.
can make the moves look incredible.
Oh yeah,
And then
absolutely.
when you watch someone who's bad at it, you can see just how much work the person on the other end of the move is actually doing
Hmm.
in terms of like their performance and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you think is particularly good at it who's currently active?
I will try and give examples from more accessible routes. So, for WWE, you have Lara Valkyria.
Oh,
Uh,
Irish.
yes, I will give you an example of that because she is her selling for everything is fantastic. She has what's referred to as great crumble. Like she will take a move, but her reaction to it, where she'll crumble and fall, is so good. Like it's so natural as opposed to, all right, I'm gonna fall down this way
Yeah.
or I'm gonna fall this direction.
Is that
Ju-
difficult for sorry to interrupt you. Is that difficult for a referee when someone's really good at selling and like every 2 minutes you don't know if they're legitimately
yes.
hurt? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like again, sometimes as what's referred to as a rib, which is a joke,
Right.
or a prank. Basically, they will try to rib me by convincing me that they are hurt,
Right.
or they will try and convince me that they are not hurt, which
Yes.
gets really annoying very quickly. Like, I'm not the one that you should be ribbing, and this is not the time to do it.
You're there to keep them safe.
Yes, yes. But again, that's just an example of it. Like, some people are very, very good at being what's referred to as the underdog. Like they're constantly getting beaten up in strange or creative ways that
Yeah.
just like how are they getting back up?
Yeah. Would
How they hurt? Like how they not hurt after that?
yeah. Would Ricochet be a good example of that? I've seen clips of him, and sometimes he looks like he's legitimately dead.
He is a good example of that actually. Like so he what he can do physically is unreal. Like absolutely unreal. Uh, Amazing talent. And again, you you look at someone that like takes okay, there's a little bit of criticism about either interviews he's done or whatever, but he's tried to use that to become a reinvent himself as a character that is a heel or a bad guy.
Right.
And but his selling for moves is really good. I would more put a Will Ospreay up there
Yes, I've seen
as
clips of him. He's a
mm,
fantastic athlete.
yes, like fantastic athlete, great seller, good performer, like has a solid move set, um, very believable,
Yeah.
very very believable. Because unfortunately, everything hurts.
I've
Like
heard the mat or the canvas is not very forgiving.
no, no, it is not. It is so to break it down, like the actual wrestling ring, people think that it's just springs and like like crash mats and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's not. It's about it is a steel frame with about an inch and a half thick
Mm.
sheets of plywood
Yeah.
or MDF wood, depends on which ring you're using, and with a very small, probably about an inch, maybe 2 inches,
Yeah.
thick padding that's draped over the wood
Yeah.
with a canvas to tie it all down. Like
Right.
so, you think of that. That's okay for more accessible. Judo mats,
Right.
just to give you an idea about the thickness, like of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what you're essentially falling onto. And
Right.
for anyone that does martial arts, that hurts.
Yeah.
Absolutely hurts. That is not like, that's not bouncy. That's not happy. That's not nice. Like, and we're the crazy people that throw ourselves onto the ground multiple times in a match for entertainment.
Yeah. And it can be very very entertaining. So
Oh yeah,
a lot of people appreciate it, I would say.
a lot of people appreciate it, but there is people that don't. They don't fully understand what goes into it.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that's fine. I get that. Like again, but you will have your days where it's like, if only they just got it. Like if only they got why we do it. Like what goes into it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. How would you explain kayfabe to someone?
kayfabe is keeping the illusion of something being real. So essentially, if for an example, you have a baby face and you have a heel who are currently feuding on TV. And in order to keep kayfabe, you will not have them interact outside of TV
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like they will not be seen backstage. They will not be seen together, like at a restaurant or a public event.
Yeah.
Like in order to like, whereas like if they do happen to be seen together, uh, kayfabe will dictate that they will have to behave like cameras are on.
Right.
It's like we hate each other. First chance I get, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like
That must
essentially.
be a lot harder to maintain these days because of
Yes,
social media and that kind of stuff.
immensely hard,
Yeah.
immensely hard to keep and maintain. A lot of the time, like there'll be certain things that shouldn't ever see the light of day in terms of like, okay, a wrestler is hurt, legitimately hurt. So in order to keep kayfabe, we act like it doesn't hasn't happened.
Mm.
Be, but there will always be someone that will let it slip or will run straight to the internet. It's like, this person got injured at that show. It's like, great. You have to ruin that.
Oh man. Yeah.
Like, that could have been, again, it kind of forces the promotion to adapt and be like, right, they know now, but let's try and work it into either the storyline or actually come up with a reason to write you out for a bit.
Yeah.
It's so it can be extremely tough to keep kayfabe,
Yeah.
and
I remember the Undertaker talking about back in the days, like you're talking like the 80s and 90s, where even like wherever he would go, he would stay in character whenever he's out in public, like going through
mm,
airports and stuff like that. And it was fascinating to listen to.
he's the definition of kayfabe.
Yeah.
He is the only person that committed to a character, but not only that, committed to it so much that he wouldn't do interviews really.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do like special meet and greets. He would keep kayfabe Uh, he wouldn't even do backstage interviews,
Yeah.
like for say documentaries for another wrestler. He wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I remember
Like
he was
so,
talking about how people thought there was something legitimately wrong with him. Like, this guy's a weirdo.
it's just he was brought up old school,
Yeah.
and old old school wrestlers like they kept kayfabe.
Yeah.
Like this is how you made money by keeping kayfabe,
Yeah.
and whereas now it's a bit more, it's a lot more accessible. People understand like certain terms, but they don't fully understand the actual meaning. Like The Rock made it very popular to um like certain terminology was made popular by The Rock, like calling people a jabroni and
Yeah. Yeah.
like jobbers and things like that. Like it's again, certain terminology has found its way into like the general public
Yeah.
through whatever means, but certain things were used, they were used in different ways to either demean or almost to have a jab at people,
Yeah.
uh, but in keeping with kayfabe kind of terms.
Yes.
So,
When a wrestler gives another wrestler a receipt, what exactly is that?
uh,
I was this question came about because I was listening to a couple of wrestlers talking about it, and some of it's got some hilarious stories behind it about
mm,
why they give this person a receipt and how far they go.
yeah,
So it's kind of a two-part question. So what is a receipt, and have you ever been reffing a match where another wrestler isn't happy with the other wrestler, gives them a
yes.
receipt, and then it gets out of hand? And how do you deal with that situation to get things back on track?
So a receipt is essentially um, a pair of wrestlers will be working a match together, and it could be for whatever reason. They could throw a strike, um, or hit their opponent a little harder than they should have, and sometimes it can purely be just like caught in the moment. This has
Yeah.
happened. Now, some people will operate on like, okay, he's right. That's one. That's an accident. Okay, this one's that's second time now, right? They'll operate on a three, three times and we're done, like kind of aspect.
Yeah.
If it's happened the third time, right? Next chance they get, they're gonna light them up,
Yeah.
and not in a malicious way. It's more just like, okay, it's time for the babyface to make their comeback,
Yeah.
and during it, they might throw an odd strike that looks a bit. It might look a little odd, but
Yeah.
it's purely in order to like remind that person. It's like, okay, ease up.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. I've heard that wrestlers talk about this where they will say in the middle of a match, like, calm the fuck down. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Or as someone had said before, it's like they be in the corner and person is just lighting them up in the corner, and
Yeah.
he said, "Do I owe you money? It's, do I owe you money?"
Yeah.
So like, no, why? It's like, cause you're lighting me up as if I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's, but
I've seen
yeah,
some
like
brutal examples of that. There was one I was
yes,
watching. It came up as a short, and it was a really old clip of. Do you remember Coco Beware?
mm-hmm,
At the time, they were just calling him Coco Ware, so it must have been
mm-hmm,
quite old. But um, he was in the corner, and a fella, I think he was called the Masked Patriot, gave him a couple of slaps and hits, and then Coco Beware just like actually bet the shit out of him. Because I've seen
yeah,
people give receipts before, but this was like a sustained beating, and I'm like, that
mm-hmm.
guy's legitimately hurt. He's not moving properly at all. Like,
So there's a massive difference in, again, you can get tagged by accident, like for real, like, and that's again, that's why you kind of operate on the three strikes and you're out kind of thing.
right?
But there are other aspects that will come into play. So you could go out there with an opponent and they could just be an enhancement match to make one person look good,
Yeah.
but the enhancement talent doesn't sell for the main star,
Yes, I've seen
and
these.
that is not good. Like
That
that's why Coco like
right.
has has definitely like put a beating on someone before because of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they weren't selling his moves, so he got
You make them
pissed.
look silly.
Yes. Like, what? How are we supposed to buy him as a credible challenger if this small person is just taking a beating and coming back straight after?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Has the magpie ever given someone a receipt?
No, I've never given a receipt. I've accidentally thrown some potatoes. Like,
Oh
uh,
man.
yeah. Again,
Did
the
you get a
magpie.
receipt?
Oh yeah,
Oh god.
yes. Ah, no, like, and they had every right to. It's just again when you're young, like it's again three. That's how I learned the three strikes,
Yeah.
and you're out. Like you get one back. Um, but it's which is fine. Like some people think that it's bit harsh, but it's no. Like some people don't respond to just being told. Like they have to. Right. This is the difference between me working and me actually like throwing a potato.
Yeah. I love that expression, throwing a potato.
Yeah, because they're heavy. Like
Yeah,
depending
yeah.
on what it is, it's a heavy shot.
Yeah, yeah.
But to go back to your other question, like yes, I've had people kind of like lose the plot during their match.
Right.
Um
So how do you get it back under control? That must be really
uh
difficult.
this is where your experience comes into play, and the fact that I will give it that like these two were like younger into their wrestling journey.
Right.
Um, they just again they something happened by accident. The other one took it the wrong way. It got out of hand, but thankfully, like not to the point where it was completely broken down.
Yeah.
It was just enough that I could see it, and I stepped in straight away. First chance I got is like, right, you need to calm down. It's like, right,
Yeah.
we'll settle this later. Like, but get
Yeah.
professional.
That must be so hard to do in front of a live audience.
It's very difficult to do it and not make things look off kilter.
Yes, yes.
Um, but again, I am very comfortable in what I do and my ability to be able to communicate. But and my experience has allowed me these. Uh, I've learned through like messing up. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way. Like so, and
Failure's a good teacher.
exactly, and that's unfortunately you do have to fail. Like if you don't learn from your failures, then you're doomed to repeat it,
Yes.
and you're not going to progress.
Yes.
Whereas I've been lucky enough that certain things have happened. I've learned from it. Uh, am I perfect? No, because mistakes will still happen. It's
Yes.
just the circumstances of how it happens will change. But
Yeah.
having the experience of gone through it makes you handle the situation in a better way.
Yeah. Has anyone ever got upset at you for making a mistake as a referee?
Yes,
And
yes, several
yeah.
people.
How did that go down?
So even though even though wrestling is a show, the on, the only role that is still to a degree, uh, as we refer to as a shoot, which is for real.
Something really happening. Yeah, you got to
Yes,
shoot and you got to work.
yes. So wrestling is a work,
Yeah.
but there are shoot aspects to it. One of those is a referee's count.
I've
A ref.
heard this. I because this was an interesting topic about. I believe referees are told you count to three. If they do not kick out, they do not kick out.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've seen examples in the past where they were obviously supposed to kick out, they
Mm-hmm.
don't, and the ref has to kind of do some awkward
Yep.
movement to make it look like, oh, I was a bit late on the count or something.
Yep. I've done that as well. Again, this is all about learning as
Yeah,
you go and being able to overcome certain situations like that.
yeah,
And it could be for a multitude of reasons. It could be poor poor person is after getting a knock, completely forgotten what they're supposed to do. And sometimes they need that little nudge or you like my what I try to do with everyone I work with is to because I'm watching what's going on.
Yeah.
And if I see that they've kind of gotten a knock, I'm like, before the count even happens, I'm circling around a bit longer just to give them a second,
Oh, right, right.
like
Yes.
before I go down for the count.
So they have their wits about them, basically.
It's more just to give them that extra second.
Yeah.
Like, even though their opponent might be going for the cover, I take an extra second just to get around there. And while I'm actually leaning down to go for a count, I'm like, you okay? One, two,
Yeah.
kick, boom.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't kick out, like, it's one of the aspects I have to actually just commit to.
Yeah. Is it
Um,
is it true that some people have not kicked out when they should have, and that's how just the match ended?
yes.
And
Oh yeah, yeah, like, that does happen as well.
yeah, that must be a
Again,
rare thing, surely.
it can be a rare moment, but again, it comes down to either they they've mistimed it,
Yeah.
or they've gotten a knock, which clearly, like, it's
Yeah.
just unfortunate,
Yeah. I
because
seen.
otherwise you have to make an awkward like shuffle and
Yeah.
try to play off like they got their shoulder up when
Yeah.
clearly they didn't. Like
Yes.
like if the fans can see it, sorry, like you have to maintain the integrity of a referee,
Yeah.
and the reason for that is because they're supposed to be the authority figure. But not only that, when an actual real life situation happens, when they make a call that is to help someone, they will roll with it. It
Yeah.
won't be like, what the hell happened here? It's like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
no, like they realize, oh yeah, that was a bad one. Yep, he had to stop that.
Yes. Yeah. Was
Like,
it a recent enough one where was it Finn Balor who was a little late to kick out and the referee had to kind of do you remember this? I think it was a couple of
I,
months ago. And I think they might have edited it out for the replay on Netflix.
I don't know, to be honest. Like, I'm trying to remember now, like, but it could very well have happened.
Yeah.
It just, sometimes it does happen. It just happens. And you will get a knock, and it could be for something very simple that you've probably done 1,000 times,
Yeah.
but uh, this is the one night where, like, okay, there's that 1%.
Yeah. I've heard
But
that. I've heard wrestlers say that like oftentimes it's not the big crazy moves that cause injuries
mm,
or mistakes. It's sometimes something simple that you've done a
yep,
thousand times before, but it's just that one night something goes a little wrong.
yep,
Um, Liv Morgan's injury, for example, like that didn't look
mm,
like too much of a crazy move compared to what you normally see with
no,
like a Canadian Destroyer or something like that.
yeah, yeah, like again, sometimes it is just the simpler looking moves
Yeah, or even
that are
something
what.
as simple as sliding into the ring.
Yes,
I've seen
yep.
people like they've tore their quad or they've
Oh yeah, they tore both of them.
yeah.
I know who you're talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, he tore both of them.
Just that, oh my god, that was one of the funniest clips I've ever seen.
Sitting in the ring,
I,
barking orders while no selling. Like,
yeah,
he was no selling, so he was keeping kayfabe to everyone.
and in the moment you're like, why the fuck is he sitting on the thing?
Yeah,
Like, what's that? Like in terms of storytelling, like what is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that?
Again, like, anyone with a brain can realize, like, okay, something's wrong,
Yeah,
but
100%.
he's keeping such a straight face that
Yeah.
you don't know. And but yeah, like, that's a hellacious injury.
Oh,
Like
I can't even imagine.
like he tore the first one getting into the ring. He tore the second one getting up.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
Like, that's how he tore the second one.
Oh,
And
it's
a
just
couple of years
insane.
ago, we had, what was it, the on WrestleMania? It was his son did
Yeah,
a surprise appearance
right.
and went for something that would be considered a simple move, and he tore his quad.
Jesus.
He went to try, like, his leg buckled, went to try and get back up, and fucking tore his quad.
Wow.
Like, just that was it. Like, it happens.
Yeah. Have you ever had any bad injuries yourself? Anything that maybe took a while to come back from?
Uh, I've been fortunate enough that I haven't had really anything. I've had uh So thankfully, I haven't had a lot. Like
Yeah.
I've had a small muscle tear in my lower abdomen.
Right.
Uh, that hurt like a bitch. Like
Right.
it's like that cost me like 8 weeks.
Wow. What
Like
what were you performing at the time?
I was literally doing my count.
Oh, no way.
For the so it was the main event. It was the final count. I was going for the tree. I was one, two. As I'm stretching for my arm out,
Yeah.
like suddenly, like boom, like
Jesus.
like when you're back, like when you pull your back.
Yeah.
It was like that, just at the front. I felt like someone had just pulled like a vein away or something like that.
There you
It was,
go. Again, a simple movement.
yeah, simple movement that I've done thousands of times,
Yeah, yeah.
but like, yeah, that thing cost me like 8 weeks.
That's
Like
insane.
it was just pain. You couldn't lie down, you couldn't laugh, you couldn't sneeze, you couldn't like it just it messes with you.
Yeah.
Um, I've been fortunate that uh I've only had one concussion, thankfully.
Oh, wow.
Which like again for wrestling, that's an achievement in itself.
It seems to
Like
be a common enough thing.
concussions are sadly like they are a common thing, but people the moves that we try to do are we try to position ourselves in ways that will protect ourselves a bit more
Yeah.
as opposed to the way people would do it years ago. And but
Right.
sadly enough, like when I got mine, and I have the clip, like I can send that to you. But basically,
Yeah.
a spot I've done a good few times, it wasn't even the kick; it was actually me hitting the ground.
Right.
I hit my head off. I whiplashed my head onto the mat,
Jesus.
and that was it. I was out.
So was it just that particular time you took the bump?
Yeah,
Not quite right.
yeah.
Right.
It was like full on knockout. Like,
Oh, wow. Just out cold.
yeah, I was out. Like I was
Jeez.
out like for literally like 5 seconds. And I was
Jesus.
like, the crazy thing is that like when you wake up, it's like it didn't seem like any time had gone. And because like as a referee, when you take a bump, like you're down for ages.
Yeah.
So people didn't think anything different.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like I actually got to the back that people realized.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was actually describing what happened. Is the fact that like, oh yeah, I just remember like, okay, I'm lifting this person up. I know what's like gonna happen, but I don't remember the kick happening. I don't remember falling.
Mm.
Like I don't remember. Like that's gone.
That's
Like
nuts. I've heard of wrestlers talk about this where I think Kurt Angle was one of them where he sustained a concussion in a match,
yep,
finished the match, but doesn't remember any of
yeah,
it.
yeah. That
That's
was
nuts.
the two boys leading them through it as well. It's crazy.
It's mad. And like,
Dude was an absolute machine.
oh, he was always one of my favorites.
Mm.
I remember he did he start wearing a gum shield because was it Shawn Michaels knocked one of his teeth out by accident?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I think he was doing like a flying crossbody and his knee hit his face or something.
Yeah, he was trying to protect himself. It's the way a lot of wrestlers tend to go for them nowadays.
Right.
It's just either depending on what their move set is or what kind of moves that they're taking on a regular basis.
Yeah.
They just try to protect themselves by wearing a gum shield. Sure, years ago there was a wrestler in WWE at the time and fantastic wrestler. Just this happened to be the first event where they surrounded the ring posts with like an extra banner
Right.
that was meant for advertisement.
Right.
So it wasn't your typical like ring post. It
Yeah.
was actually a lot bigger. So
Yeah.
when he was getting launched into the corner, he's done the spot like countless times, but this time because of the extra banner, it caught him right at the top of his mouth,
Oh jeez.
knocked out like I think two or three of his teeth, like mid match.
Yeah.
So it's like
Jesus.
like he continued the match, but like now he has dentures. Like
Jesus.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Like
it's mad. Okay, just even that little change just
yep.
can throw you off.
Oh yeah. Like there's countless injuries like that you can talk about. Like but
What's the scariest move you've ever taken yourself?
Uh, let's see. I've been launched off a stage.
Oh God.
I have been put through a door. I have um I've been knocked out.
Yeah.
That's what I just talked about. Like been knocked out.
Was that a
Uh
super kick type thing?
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
super kick, but like the kick didn't do it. It was the
Yeah,
landing
yeah,
that done
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Um let's see. I have boom, 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 boom. Surprisingly, I'm not too scared about doing what's needed for the shows. Like it's and I don't think I haven't refused many things
Yeah.
in actual fact. Like I'd be more like, actually, you know what? I think it'd be fun if I did this.
Yeah.
Like I think it'd be really cool. Because again, not many referees get to do this type of stuff, so I'd
Yeah.
rather jump at it while the opportunity's
Yeah.
there. And plus, like I can still like bump like no tomorrow.
There you go.
Like because I love doing it. I love trying to challenge myself with them as well.
Yeah.
So that's how you create your own entertainment.
Yeah.
Like
Would you
you
describe yourself as a good seller?
yes.
There you go.
uh,
It would have to be yes.
tell me you have an ego and tell me you have an ego. No, like
No, listen, you're just being
I
honest.
do, because the way I see it is that if like I said earlier, if you can elicit a reaction from people where they fully think that you are hurt, or that should have hurt a lot more, then we've done our job.
Yeah.
Um, the difference is that when I do mine again, I think I have video somewhere where it's just there are a couple like different bumps that I've taken, and if you were to watch it, you'd be like, "How the hell is he still standing?"
Yeah.
Like, so, but I would consider myself a good seller because I can sell to a crowd. Um, they get to see me on a regular basis, so therefore it's it's not a case of like, okay, they only see me once off, so they're not going to care. No, they see me all throughout a show.
So you need to be
They get
consistent.
yeah, they get to interact with me. I get to interact with them, and when funny things happen, they get to laugh along with me.
There you go.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. That's
when
pretty
sad
cool.
things happen, they get to like react like I do.
Yeah.
So,
Are there any wrestlers at the moment you think deserve a bigger push?
um,
Someone that's maybe been overlooked?
I don't know, like, because I'm sure there's probably gonna be countless wrestling fans saying like, this person. It's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
again, wrestling is subjective. There's
Yeah.
always gonna be someone that, uh, again, it's a variety. There's
Yeah.
always gonna be someone that's your, not to be a bad term, it's like the flavor of the month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
this is who's popular right now
Yeah.
for XYZ reasons, but every person has their favorites. Every person has the people that they hate, where for whatever reason. Again, person could be a baby face. Some person just hates them.
Yeah.
Don't know, just something about them that they don't click with.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's not going to be the
me,
same for everybody.
like for me, I don't really look at it as much anymore like that. I'm more just like I enjoy this. I try to enjoy
Yeah.
it for what it is. If you entertain me, fantastic. I'm a sucker for a good story. So if a good story is going on and you have really good players in it, then I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
don't get me
Same. I
wrong.
love. I love. I love a good story in terms of wrestling.
Don't
And
get me wrong. I appreciate great wrestling, but again, you look at the show. If you have every single match that's just wrestling, you're gonna get bored very quickly.
yeah. Exactly.
So having that variety is a great way to keep you wanting more, have people coming back, and uh, to watch next week and see
Yeah.
what happens. Like,
Yeah. So since I started watching wrestling again, I've been trying to listen to podcasts and kind of catch up on stuff and get people's opinions. And there's
mhm.
a couple of criticisms I've heard quite often. So I want to throw a couple at you to get your opinion on, are they fair or are they nonsense?
Okay.
So one of them I've heard a lot is that people kick out of finishing moves too often.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like.
I when I heard this and when I was like paying attention to it after hearing that, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
man, it does happen a lot. Like there's one
Yep.
match where it's like even within the first 10 minutes it was like three or four finishing moves and I'm
Mm.
like some people made the argument that they should do away with finishing moves, but I would hate that. I love the idea of a finishing move where it's like, all right, there's a 99% chance this match is now over.
Mm.
Um,
Like a finishing move is needed because it's your punctuation for a match.
yes,
It's your clear tell that okay, this could be the end. Like this gets people excited. It's like, is
yeah,
he gonna hit it? No, he's countered it. It goes for it again. Oh, he nearly had it. Oh, he
yes,
finally hits it. Great. One, two, someone's after breaking it up. It's like
yes,
you could have won that. Or he's clearly won it, but there's no referee.
yeah,
Like they help elevate tension and emotion for people. While I understand that some people will they will kick out of everything. And I don't think that's fair because it means that at some point or another, someone's finisher or their credibility as a wrestler is being questioned because of this.
yes,
If they can't push someone away after a double stomp, a package pile driver, a whatever, like all in consecutive order, then why should I buy into you as a credible star?
yeah. That's a good point. Yeah,
Like it's not fair. And not only that, you have people that okay, this is what they're good at, and to a degree, yes, it's a flavor of wrestling that I may not agree with. I know other people do.
right. So there are
Um,
some fans who are fine with it.
yes,
Right.
and again, me, I don't agree with it because I think it takes away from what because the overall like card for a show, you are steadily building towards the main event, and you don't think of it as this would be really piercing the veil, but basically we're all magicians
Yeah.
and we're showing you different tricks as we go along. But if someone in say the first or the second match shows you three of the tricks right there and then, that means that the main event has to either double it or they have to do something ridiculously risky in order to get a reaction out of the crowd.
So you need to think of the show as a whole rather than
Yes,
matches individually.
yes.
That's a good point.
You are
Yeah.
building towards the main event.
Yeah.
Like
So you
that's
got
why it's a
like
variety.
yeah, so you got like the psychology of a match, but as you say, you've got the psychology of an event.
Hmm.
And it'd be like in a movie where like your biggest baddest action scene happens at the start and you're like, "Well, where do we go from here then?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Another criticism I've heard is that there are too many belts in WWE.
Yes,
Would you agree with that?
yes, and no.
Right.
It's yes, there are too many belts, but you also have how many roster of how many people on your, and that's across all brands that you have.
Yeah.
So Raw, SmackDown, NXT, LFG, whatever else like that they have.
Yeah.
Like it's so I understand why you have a title to make that either unique or to give people something to strive towards,
Yeah.
as it were. Uh, but if they're not, the title is it's a prop that can be used to elevate or to enhance. But again, depending on how it's being written and booked, can just absolutely kill a scene completely as well.
Right.
Like the title will almost become non-consequential. Like it doesn't matter if the title is there.
Yeah.
Like this, like a story might supersede a title.
Yeah.
Like the story for this doesn't require one of them to be a champion.
Yeah.
Like, like we can take that title off one of them, That way they can run off and do their rivalry, but meanwhile we can put the belt on someone else in the meantime,
Yeah.
hopefully elevate them, and then we can run it back where person that lost title can go after the title that they lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, but sometimes that doesn't work out. It's um, I I can't speak for definite on that, like in regards to WWE or AEW or whatever, because again, if
Yeah.
if I knew that, I'd be working there.
Yes,
Like,
I get you.
but yeah, I find that yes, it's handy because again, you so much on the roster, but it can also be um, a crutch as well. That like it
Yeah.
doesn't benefit anyone having it.
Yeah. All right. So the last one I've heard quite commonly is that uh, some matches are just one highlight after another with no real in-ring story. Would you agree with that? Do you think that happens too often, where they're just more so focusing on what are the highlights of the match going to be without telling like a story within the ring?
Depends highly on either the promotion's outlook on it,
Yeah.
um, or fucking. Uh, it depends highly on the promotion's outlook on something. So they could put emphasis on, right, let's do what's called car crash wrestling. So basically, we're going to spam all the finishers. We're going to do this,
Yeah.
uh, but there's no story. And
Yeah.
then you get other places that will emphasize story driven rivalries as opposed to what the moves are.
Yeah.
So that it has some merits and it doesn't. It really depends on the company or promotion's outlook on what they feel will help them either expand or get
Yeah.
a better audience. Like so.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's them. That's just kind of three of them kind of more common ones I've heard
Mm.
from digging into stuff. Um, so if someone did give you all the power in the world, what changes would you make to wrestling if you could? Are there anything in particular you think, oh, I'd love to change that or I'd love to change this?
Um, I, I I think one of the biggest would be like I would like people to actually be able to make a living wage off it and
Yeah.
be considered actual like employees
Yeah.
as opposed to being as what's deemed as independent contractors
Yeah.
that can be come and go as you please. But um, I understand that it's like, okay, you can kind of carve out a piece of the pie if they really want you to,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you get no benefits of like medical, retirement, pension, this like stuff in the long term, especially for those that have families.
Yeah.
You want that security knowing that, like, okay, I have signed for 3 years. That means for 3 years, we're we're entitled to XYZ. I get this, I have to work this. Like
Yeah.
to me, that would be like fine, but like a lot of contracts would be very different. And I don't know the ins and outs because again, I'm not in those companies.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it'd be a lot of we're going to pay you XYZ uh, for 2 years. You get X amount for as a downside, which means that it's a guaranteed amount of money, regardless, whether you get released or get fired or otherwise, you get a guarantee.
Yeah.
Um, which will probably only be a small amount, but you don't get certain health benefits or retirement or stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's very much like a minimal trade off for it.
Yeah.
So I know some people can, as they say, politic and get a better position
Yeah.
on their contract or get a better monetary value out of their contract.
Yeah.
But again, it's very like case by case. Whereas I would rather it be, okay, look, we're going to sign you for this generic contract that is like, okay, 2 years, but if we like you, we can add another year extension.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get XYZ. That'll
Yeah.
be my biggest change. Just giving
Yeah.
that guarantee and that certainty to people uh, that would like to do this, but again, don't want to lose like don't want to be worried that like they'll lose out on stuff
Yeah. I
as
think
well.
that's a fair change to strive for.
Mm. It, it
It's not too unreasonable.
it sounds that way, but easier said than done.
Yeah.
I would say like yeah, union, but like that's a dangerous word.
I see.
It's a dangerous word, but like but that's my outlook on it. It's
Yeah.
again, do I fully agree with everything on both sides? No. Again, like I like to think, but at the same time,
It's
uh,
complicated.
yeah, it's very very complicated, and it's again, wrestling is still inherently uh, uh as it used to be carny because it started in the carnivals.
I
So
believe that's where the term kayfabe comes from, the carnivals. I heard
yeah,
that somewhere. I'm not sure if that's true.
yeah, there's very few people that can actually speak carny, like the old like speak.
Yeah.
Um, you'll get a few people from say the Attitude Era that can, like because they were brought up in that kind of environment where they could, but
Yeah.
that stuff is lost on people and myself included. Like I know some things,
Yeah.
but not a lot.
Yeah.
It's like learning a completely different language. It's just you either have it or you don't,
Yeah.
or you pick up little bits here and there.
Yeah.
But wrestling is still inherently carny as opposed to being a fully legitimized like business.
Yeah.
Uh, like
Yeah, I gotcha.
uh, uh, get into that. No, no, I'm not getting into
Right. We'll put a pin
that.
on that. So one thing I wanted to get your opinion on as well is John Cena's heel turn.
Yes.
What did you think of it, and do you think it was done well?
Well, we were talking about, weren't we?
There you go.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
Do you know what? When I started watching it again, it's one of the things that kept me going. Is I wanted to see this unfold.
like he's in his retirement year. He is now legitimately like the 17th time world champion.
Mm-hmm.
He is the considered the greatest of all time now. Um, for that record, and bear in mind that this year is his final run, his final time. That he will be appearing in different cities, countries, and very limited appearances are left. So
Yeah.
one of those happens to be Dublin,
Oh, nice.
which again for people that do know, WWE are coming here in August. They're doing they're not just doing a live show. They're doing their the first ever time that they're actually doing live TV taping of SmackDown.
Oh, it's the very first time, is it?
Very first time that they're doing live TV tapings
Wow.
of SmackDown.
That's
They are
awesome.
also advertising it as John Cena's last appearance in Ireland.
Right.
So, needless to say, tickets cost an absolute fortune
Oh, I would imagine.
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, yeah,
But again, that is a show that I, me as a someone that's involved in wrestling, I would like to see that show get filled out, and not because of the monetary value of it of the tickets, because I think that's ludicrous like pricing.
yeah,
It's more so we can make a good impression, because anytime WWE have stepped into certain countries for a live pay-per-view or premium live events as they call it, um they've made great impressions. They had a fantastic time in Perth in Australia. They've had great time in Lyon in France. They've done like Berlin in Germany, like,
yeah.
and the crowds were unreal. Same with Scotland and England and Wales. Like it's just it'd be nice if Ireland can show that as well
Yeah.
at this taping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would encourage people to get a ticket. I know it's not like viable to everyone, but if you if you are getting a ticket and you are going to be going to the show, like I would hope that you would bring your A game and make all the noise in the world, like
Right.
for that show.
There you
We
go.
don't want to be beaten at anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
we really don't, and especially the Brits.
You want
we
to outdo
like
them.
that's it. Like it's silly like patriotism that like a lot of people don't realize that they have until you're put in a situation where you're
Yeah.
like, we want you to say God save the king. God no, like we're not doing that. Like but no, like I think it's a good thing. I think Cena's run is exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah.
Again, you are not going to like with anything, you're not going to satisfy everyone.
I like him as a heel. I think he's quite good as a heel. I think he's very funny.
He's not changing much. That's the thing. A
Yeah.
lot of people think that like he's a major heel. No, he's highlighting everything that like people have criticized either himself or that has been done over the years. So
Yeah.
it's his chance to finally actually like call out fans as well
Yeah.
for essentially the abuse that he took for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it doesn't seem like an easy situation when you're kind of like under that kind of scrutiny.
mm,
And the press conferences he's done as a heel have been hilarious.
mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I like him as a heel. Do you think he's going to have a redemption arc before he retires?
I don't know. I would imagine so.
You
I
gotta
would
believe he's going to retire as a face.
I would imagine so because again, it's the happy ending. Like
Yeah.
it's the nice end to um this career,
Yeah.
and you want to end on a high note.
Yeah.
But then again, they could pull the rug out and just say like, right, he's gonna retire on. He's gonna walk into the sunset as a bad guy.
There you go. Could happen.
You never know. So time will tell.
All right. My final question for you, Niall.
Sure.
Who is your favorite currently active wrestler?
Mm, in terms of WWE, I'm unbelievably intrigued by Penta.
I I love Penta.
Like I got to
Penta.
work with him, but like again, it's which is weird to say that, but it I'm loving that he's being presented as a star.
Yes. Oh man, they made such a big fanfare out of him.
I absolutely love Dominic Mysterio. I
He's
think
good. He's
he's
great.
so entertaining. Like, and his wrestling skill has improved immensely.
Right.
Like,
You
obviously,
just
I'd be Pete Dunne is another one that I absolutely love watching.
right. Is
Like,
that the bruiserweight as he calls himself?
yes,
Yeah.
Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. He is currently in a tag team with Tyler Bate.
Aha. Well,
Unreal
two of the
wrestler.
ones that really drew me in were Penta, of course. I love watching him, and his look is incredible, and his
Yeah.
music. But I love the Samoan werewolf, Jacob.
Ah, Jacob Fatu. Ah, yes,
For someone
absolutely.
like I love that kind of thing where he looks like just a big rough brawler, but he can do
Mm.
backflips and shit, like stuff
Yep,
that I couldn't dream of doing.
yep. Like Jacob Fatu is the perfect example of someone that like untapped potential.
Yeah.
Like and this is him only like a year in. Like
Wow.
imagine in like 2 years when he's had more seasoning.
Yeah.
Like he's already a seasoned wrestler, but like give him 2 more years of doing more character building,
Yeah.
and my God,
You
like he's
reckon he's
not.
going to really refine himself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it, I definitely could see him being like a main eventer, like in a couple of years
100%
time.
agree. Yeah, I think he's incredible, and he has that intimidating aura. Like
Mm,
some wrestlers don't have that like genuinely intimidating aura. Like, they might like other characters might act afraid of him and stuff, but he actually is intimidating to me.
He's natural. He's natural on the like he's comfortable on the microphone. He's
Yeah.
comfortable in himself and what he can do. Like
All gas,
how
no brakes.
yeah. Yeah, heard me. I can't roll the tongue, but like my God, like I love it. Like I love his promos because they're
Yeah.
simple and effective. Like
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't always need to be overly complicated.
no,
I hate when they try and do the same thing with everybody. I'm like, let's
less
try
is
something
more.
different. Yeah, yeah. For some people, less is definitely more. Uh, all right, Niall. Thank you so much for jumping on today. I really enjoyed that conversation
Mm, this was fun.
and providing your insight. So, tell all these lovely folks where they can find you.
So you can find me on mainly on Instagram, Instagram.com/Fox Nile. I post little bits about wrestling there, as well as I mainly use it for my pixel art work that I do.
Which is
Um,
fantastic, by the way. I've seen it live. It is great,
mm, live and in color.
live and in all its glorious color.
Very colorful.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, like I mainly post up there about that stuff, and you can also catch me on Newton Bat Productions on Instagram. We have released issues 1 and 2 of our comic called One Fall.
Which I
Um,
have read and I would highly recommend. The writing is really, really solid and the artwork is just so dynamic and it all works really well together. So I would definitely recommend checking those out.
like yeah, like we worked hard on it. Like we can't having so much fun with it
Yeah.
again. But no one told us that like being an independent like publisher, you have to fund these things yourself. It's like
No one
"What are you
filled you in on that?
no, it's like it's like they don't tell you how much it costs. It's like, oh my God, like yeah, don't have that funds right now.
Yeah.
Like we have to build that up slowly, slowly.
When Miles and Mary Ashbury becomes a movie, I will definitely fund Newton Bat.
Oh man, like other than Newton Bat, you have you can catch me at wrestling shows across the country. I mainly work for Over the Top Wrestling. I work for No Limits Wrestling or NLW.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. I didn't
I
know that.
also I also work for Fight Factory Pro Wrestling, which is Dublin based, and Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling, which is in Limerick.
Oh, you're all over the
So
place.
yeah, like I would like to be working other places, but
Yeah.
again, they don't book me. Let's be honest. But no, like you can catch me at different shows throughout the country, like and OT OTT will be going on tour during the summer as well, hitting up different towns like as far as I know, Offaly, Limerick, I think Carlow, and there's a few other dates to be announced, I think.
Yeah. So if
So
someone wanted to pick up a copy of One Fall, where would they go?
you can message me directly, or you can message Brian Maxwell, or you can go to Newton Productions on Instagram.com and you can order one there.
Perfect. There will
Yeah.
be links in the description if you want to go check those out, and I highly suggest you do. Thanks again, Niall. That was a really interesting conversation. We'll definitely have to have you back on at some stage,
Oh, absolutely. Happy to do it.
and I'm eagerly awaiting One Fall issue 3. So
So am I.
stop, stop.
So am I. I want people to have it. Like
Yeah,
I think I said it in our previous conversation. If I had the funds, I'd have issues like 3, 4, and 5 out, but I don't
yeah.
because I want people to actually see a good story being told.
Do you want to give the listeners a brief synopsis of what is One Fall all about?
Sure. One Fall is the story of a boy named Alex who is a wrestling fan, and this story is the journey of him starting to become a wrestler and learning how to uh, not be fake, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like it's his journey, and we're going to be displaying different aspects of it throughout the course of the comic. And we want to tell you a really good story as we do it.
Well, so far so good.
Mm. We're happy with that. Like we're very happy with that. Like, but
And
yeah,
how have you found the convention scene? Have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed conventions because like again, I've been doing events for 10 years now, and it's
Wow.
which is crazy. I started
Mm.
doing events in 2015, and for Foxy Bros, that's where I do the pixel art.
Yeah.
But the but in the last like 2 3 years, started doing it for One Fall for Newton Bat, and it's starting brand new again. Like so, you get to start over, try new things that
Yeah.
you wouldn't normally do, and get get the word out about the comic while also like hearing hearing back from people that have read it, and maybe like that'll influence like what we do or what kind of references we could chuck in for the next one. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah. And there have been some fun references in there already.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, like
It's
because
great.
that was one of the things that I was like, all right, I'm very happy with some of the references that I managed to slip in there.
Yeah.
Whether people get it
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
not is a different thing.
But
But for those that do, it
they'll
instantly I'm
appreciate
like,
it.
yeah, I want something that they can appreciate. But there's some blatant ones, and then there's some that are a bit more subtle,
Right.
and I love that.
Well,
And
I'll
I
tell you
only
this
get
much:
upped.
when the third one comes out, I want to what was it, Mickey Magpie reference. What was his name? Mickey Magpie.
We shall see.
Did I
We
get the
shall
name
see.
right? Is it Mickey Magpie?
Mickey Magpie,
Oh my
yes.
god.
Yeah. The promoter loved double barrel names. So
Aha, I see.
MM. Like,
Oh my god. All right, thank you so much, Niall. There will be links in the description to Niall's social media if you want to go follow him.
mm.
And we will be back soon with part 2 of our horror villains tier list. Myself and Owen have 10 more villains to get through, so look out for that. Okay, everyone, talk again soon. Bye bye.